Hey, what's up, everyone? Let me do a quick announcement really quick, as usual, and I'll get started. I think that is the right thing. Yep. Okay. Give people a second to get in here while I prepare some reference material. Okay. Get my chat situated. Pop out. Hey, what's up, everyone? Pizza, how's it going? Citrus, hello, how are you? True Irish, how's it going? Smogsy, hey. Good to see you guys. Good to see you. Let me know if the volume is good with the music and my voice. Okay. I'm doing pretty well. Thanks, everyone. Just thought tonight might be a nice, just a little bit of a change. And we'll get back to Tropio stuff probably on the weekend, but that'd be fun to work on this guy for a little bit. I gotta finish the concepts for him and the Packy. Trying to finish those this week anyway, so this will help me push towards that, and you know, you guys get to see something new. So hope that's all right. Goji Kid. First EOE stream. Probably just gonna listen in the background and occasionally peek in. Can't wait to play the game when it releases. Nice. Oh, thanks for stopping by. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, the streams are pretty kind of low key. They're not. Try to keep them fairly chill. So yeah, hang out, ask questions if you want to. If not, that's also okay. Pizza, it's welcome for sure. Diversity always helps with the oh, cool. Yeah, I figured that might be the case. So I'm glad to hear that. Dracovenator is definitely a new guy to me, a new species to me. I have done, I mean, he's pretty closely related to Dilophosaurus. I have worked on Dilophosaurus a couple of times for various things. But this is the first time I have done any like cousin of Dilophosaurus. So this is interesting. Call me Goji. Okay. Yeah, for sure. I don't think we have anyone else that goes by Goji. Goji anything. So that's easy to remember. I am a pretty big Godzilla fan, so anything Godzilla related I usually sticks in my mind pretty well. What are the noticeable differences between Dilo and Draco? Mostly skull. I mean, honestly, we don't have a lot. Like when I was looking at the available data for Dracovenator, there is not a lot. There are like very fragmentary bits of the premaxilla, maxilla, a little bit of the dentary, and then there's like bits of the back of the jaw, and that's about it. So a lot of this is being informed by Dilophosaurus, but I am trying to make it, you know, visually distinct enough, so that way it can stand on its own as its own species, right? The thing about like when you have stuff that's this fragmentary, like I've been working on a lot of fragmentary species lately. Like I just finished a model for Spicomelus, for Beast of the Mesozoic. That guy is pretty fragmentary as well. I mean, there's more of it than we have of Dracovenator, but still. So they can be a challenge to work on, but they're also, like, in a way, they're also kind of freeing, because they're, you know, there's room for speculation, there's room for you know, you have to be careful, of course, but you can play a little bit more. Play might not be the right word, but you can entertain other ideas that you may not normally be able to. And of course, like this is our video game. We're not going like 100% paleo accurate with this, so there's room to kind of, there's a little bit more wiggle room here. I'm trying to push the cool factor a little bit, but still keep it fairly grounded. And you know, it's a balance that we're trying to strike. Showed this initial concept to the team earlier last week. Everyone seems to like it. Furious asked for a couple of adjustments to reinforce some gameplay stuff. So I'll be doing that here, maybe during the stream. Yeah. It's mostly the shape of the skull. True Irish. Like from what I can see, like Dilophosaurus has like in this area here, Dilophosaurus has this sort of bulgy tip of the nose, and then the crests pop out. So this angle is pretty noticeable. Like there's a definite shift. Whereas what I'm seeing with Dracovenator is that it's much more like streamlined. Like it goes, there's not as much of a dip there. And the like a lot of the crest shape looks like it's being reconstructed based on this initial angle. So it's much more swept back. Whereas like what I usually see of Dilophosaurus, the crests are kind of boxier, much more like almost like earlobe shaped, like this. So that's kind of what I'm trying to play up, is this sort of sweep here on the crest. I can maybe even go more drastic than that. Like this could honestly be like, I mean, according to what I'm seeing, like this could be a complete curve, you know. I added a little bit more height to it though, to like for the keratin, in addition to like what's the bone core would probably be around here, right? That would be the bone. So the additional keratin on top for the crest itself would add some shape. We'll see how it moves forward. Varstra, hey, how's it going? I'm doing pretty well. This week is going by pretty good so far. It would be a shame if it was just a disfigured Dilo. Yeah, I need to take a look into that. I need to see if I don't know, see what's going on with like as far as like the validity. I don't think it necessarily would affect the game any either way. Like there's always sort of disputes about the validity of certain species, and like, is this species different enough to be actually a species, or should it just be grouped as like a subspecies of this other thing? And there's always back and forth in the paleontology community about all that stuff. I try to keep up with it, but to be honest, like, unless you're like reading every paper that pops out, it's pretty hard. So I kind of brush up when I can, and kind of I bounce a lot from species to species. It's kind of hard to stay focused on what's going on, because it's like you'll have different debates and things going on within like certain, like there'll be somebody talking about tyrannosaurs, and there'll be somebody talking about spinosaurs, and there'll be somebody talking about what's going on with ceratopsians or something, and it's kind of spread out. So it can be difficult. Currently, like right now, I'm actually reading about Spinosaurus, reading a book about Spinosaurus and all the stuff that's happened to Spinosaurus over the years. Because because I'm gearing up to do a Spino sculpt. This isn't Echoes related. It's a different project. But I'm learning a lot about kind of this sort of thing, like, you know, like they find bits and pieces of a dino, say it's a new species, and they find a little bit more bits of some dino, and they say, oh, that's a different species, and then later on it turns out to be not a different species. Like I was just reading a bit about the discovery of, it's in the same book, it's the discovery of Irritator. Sorry, the doggo's going off. It was discovery of Irritator, and initially they found just like a back of the skull, and somebody else found a full jaw or like another part of the skull, and people were saying that it was two different species, but then they got grouped into one species because people were saying that the skull and the jaw were actually part of the same specimen. Nugget, hey, how's it going? Where do you draw inspiration from when it comes to drawing these dinosaur concepts? Where do I draw inspiration from? It's kind of hard to say. I don't know if I kind of let the material tell me what's going on. Like, I wouldn't say I have like a very strong inspiration when it comes to paleo art. Like there's certain when I do other types of artwork, like when I do my fantasy sort of stuff, or like stuff for work, or like even when it comes to like some of my private creature designs and stuff like that, like I will have like some sort of influence that kind of I'm trying to go for. But for paleo art, I don't necessarily have a strong, I wouldn't say I have a strong one. There are definitely people that I look up to, and I admire their work, but I'm not necessarily like trying to bring them in as an influence to the stuff that I do. Maybe like yeah, it's a good question. I haven't thought of it too much. I haven't thought about that too much. So it's hard for me to like to find an answer. But yeah, I basically just try to let the bones tell me what it is, and like I try to find some like real world reference that helps me like make decisions, like how big should the crest be? Well, what other things in the world have crests? Well, there's other dinosaurs you can look at that have crests. There's other birds and stuff that you can look at, other reptiles. Would any of those help me? Like, it's kind of like that sort of process. It's like the paleo art community is pretty small, and I think because it's so small, it's really try to do stuff that I think helps me stand out. And then with the case of the game, like it's also thinking about what the game needs and what we've already pre-established with other designs in the game, and making sure the game as a whole stands out in the environment that we're in, you know. So it's a lot going on. Pizza Hands would love to see the Spino sculpt. Pizza, if you want to see, I actually did a Spino sculpt. I posted it on Twitter and Blue Sky. It's of the new Spino, the Spinosaurus mirabilis. I did a quick, it's just a quick like concept sculpt. It's not anything like super fancy here. But if you want to see a Spino that I've worked on, that's one of them. I'm, you know, maybe one day I'll have a chance to finish it. Why I love Capcom making creatures from, yeah, exactly. Yeah, a lot of it comes from, I guess, my creature design. I mean, because I've drawn animals and I've drawn dinosaurs for so long too. Like, I kind of have my way of doing things, I suppose. Whether that looks good or not, I don't know. It looks good to me. But the creature design side of me does influence a lot of things, I think. And as far as like when it comes to creature designs, there are very specific influences that I have. Like Monster Hunter is definitely one. Final Fantasy creature designs are one. I mean, I have a lot of favorite creature designers out there that I just love their work, and I look at pretty frequently as like aspirational, you know. I mean, like very classic creature designs as well, like Godzilla, of course, like Crash McCreary's work on Jurassic Park. Lots of Wayne Barlow. Wayne Barlow is one of my favorites. Yeah, guys like that, guys and gals. I can show you guys really quick if you guys want to check out Mirabilis. I'll just pop up my feed really quick. It's my profile. Let's see. There he is. It's pretty interesting to work on. It's been a long time since I've done Spino. Like a long time. Sculpted a Spino, I mean. I did the sketches for Echoes of Extinction not too long ago, but sculpting a Spino. So this was pretty fun. It was like, it wasn't too long. I don't know, maybe 5 hours or something like that. 4 or 5 hours. It was like an afternoon. It's really hard, like whenever a new dinosaur pops up, it's very, very hard for me to resist like just jumping in and doing something for it. Because I have lots of other stuff going on, so I kind of have to resist the urge to just jump in and start drawing or sculpting a new dinosaur discovery. So I feel like I miss out a little bit on the hype train, you know, hype train that comes around every time a new dino pops up. But this time I didn't want to. I kind of let myself indulge a little bit. No, Yandi Master, Mirabilis is not for Echoes. That was just a sculpt I did for fun. When we were talking about Mirabilis a couple of streams ago, or like, I think I was talking about it whenever it popped up, whenever they announced it. Such a veiny creature. Those would be skinfolds, not veins. And like, I mean, a lot of people I know, including myself, really, we knew about Mirabilis like a while ago. Because unfortunately, like, somebody leaked some images of the skull on the internet somewhere. So I think a lot of people knew about it before it was actually formally announced. Let's see. What am I thinking of here? I need to find an image that I was looking at before. Okay. What can we do with this eyebrow? What happened to... There we go. I mean, oh yeah, double D. I mean, that is the case for lots of dinos. Like people know, like paleontologists know about a lot of stuff that hasn't been announced yet. It takes forever for like what the public knows and what paleontologists know is usually like several years like behind, you know. That's a little bit like that's kind of what's so frustrating because there is quite a lot of probably like data that people are working on, but it just takes so much time for like papers to get reviewed, and like, they have to like take the bones out of the casts and remove them from any of the, you know, rock and stuff that they're in, and it takes a long time. So you might have like a really cool specimen, but it's encased in rock, and like there's people trying to chisel it out for years and years before they can get a full study on it. And then even after that, they have to go through the whole process of researching, getting it reviewed, all that stuff before anything is published. So Furious wanted more spines. I'm gonna make sure I add more spines. I keep coming back to the face. I think I need more resolution. More resolution in my canvas. It's kind of high already. I wonder why it's feeling like I don't have enough. Maybe it's a DPI. Dracovenator looks kind of like Dilo. Yeah, it's a close cousin. That's like a Daspletosaurus, Gorgosaurus. You know, you get close enough and they're kind of they're pretty similar looking. I mean, they have their differences, but that's kind of the idea, I suppose. And Dracovenator is new to me as well. This is the first time I've drawn one, done any work on a Dracovenator. I don't know if it's possible, but I feel like in animation, if we could get the quills to like pop up, like if they could lay flat and then pop when it's angry or something, or like some kind of threat, or if you could just like kind of manually control if they're out or like flared out or laying flat against the body. I feel like that would be really fun. I don't know if that's a thing we can do though. He doesn't look aggressive enough. It's to do with the eyes, I think. Yeah, double D. I agree. That would be pretty cool. I didn't know that the Herrera could do that. I'll have to check it out. Check out like a video or something. I already like the way it looks with more spines. I'm gonna keep adding more all the way down. They're I guess yeah, they're more like I guess I don't know the difference between spines and quills. They're more like quills, I suppose. Like I'm like a kind of like a porcupine sort of thing. Like I'm imagining like that thick sort of um stiffened like barb, you know. I'm kind of wondering how I'm gonna do this in 3D though. So some of these bigger ones probably have to be geo. Like these ones up here. But if I made them all out of polygons, they might be a little bit much. Because we still need a good budget for the dinosaur itself. We can't just use it all on quills. Yeah, they would. I would assume they would be like. I would say they would be like feathers, like derived feathers, that transformed into quills for defense. Or I don't know. I guess some people might say that the quill, maybe it's just the quill is a feather that just never like fully like forms into that sort of never like fully develops into the fuzzy like downy feathers or the more like structured flight feathers. Could be that way also. Would love to imagine the quills have vibrant colors like how birds of paradise are. That would be cool too, yeah. I feel like this guy when we do get to color, I feel like just by the like the nature of him, like I try to sometimes I get sort of I don't know, feelings about a character or creature while I'm working on it. Just like certain inklings of like where I think it can go. Um, and this guy, I feel like needs some sort of like pretty striking pattern, especially here on the eye, like bold pattern and color on its face on these barbs. You know, I feel like it's kind of calling for that. But we'll see how it goes when we get there. That's just like my first thoughts on it. Thanks, Mogsy. Yeah, I mean Dilophosaurus and that sort of lineage of dinosaurs are very cool. Because you're talking about the what are they? The Coelophysoids, Coelophysoidea. You know, they're that clade. You have Coelophysis, which Coelophysis has very small crests. Dilophosaurus, Cryolophosaurus. You go later down in the lineage, you have Ceratosaurus. Then you kind of branch off to the Abelisaurs, and of course you get all of those guys, Carnotaurus, Majungasaurus. They're very different, you know, from your standard theropod. They're some of my favorites as well. See you, Kavarsha. Have a good night. Kumalinx. It's a relative, a close relative of Dilophosaurus. Thanks. Thank you. I have to like fight. I have like this impulse of doing like a porcupine quill thing where I like start putting stripes on them. It might look cool if they actually had that. Might be a little bit too literal though. Like too copy pasty of an existing animal onto this guy. Might give him a little bit of expression in the eye. Maybe I'll like the eye area a little bit more, like slightly, just a little slight squint. These would be like quills, very sharp, meant to protect. I suppose you could call them like proto feathers. I think we might be thinking of adding like slight fuzzy, or like, yeah, like a proto feather covering along part of this, but I'm not quite sure on that yet. I feel like I don't know, it could probably work either way. I think my preference would be to just have scales and then pop, put these on here, like transition from scales directly into the quills. But I don't know if that's necessarily the plan the team wants to do. Dilophosaurus and the relatives are kind of one of those species that I've seen with feathers and without feathers. I don't think the science really has a definite direction on what, if they would have had them or not. For the purposes of the game, we still want the quills on here though, because it supports supports the gameplay of the Draco. Do I use Adobe Double D? Do you use Adobe AI 3D generator to turn your 2D art into 3D, or do you sculpt 3D models from scratch? No, I don't use any kind of 3D. I mean, any kind of AI in my workflow. Not really a big fan of AI. It's all done, I guess you could say. I mean, I use ZBrush, so it's done in ZBrush. If you want to take a look at some of the streams on the channel, you can go back and take a look at how I actually build out the dinosaurs. I've done two on stream so far. So I've done the Perusaurus and I've done the Tropio on stream. So you can see how I actually build them out. They're done from, I think the Perusaurus I did, it depends how, like I have several different ways to block things out, so I don't usually do them the same way. But like literally the Dracovenator started out as a cube in Blender, and then we extruded all of the bits, you know, all of the head, the arms, the legs, all of that came from the cube. The Perusaurus was a bit different. That was like more like a kind of blocked out like the main masses and then started like hacking away with the different cutting tools in ZBrush. And then like merged them back together and then started sculpting on top of that. So there's like a ton of ways to do that. Sometimes I literally start with a sphere and just like pull out what I want. I've learned a ton of different ways to block out meshes. In 3D. I think that's probably one of my favorite phases of 3D workflow is just the blockout phase. So yeah, I wouldn't deprive myself of my favorite part of 3D sculpting, basically. Oh, it's huge W. Screw AI. Yeah, I mean, I do not like it at all. Not a technology I'm interested in working with. this tricep right here. Kind of spell out the anatomy of the arm a little bit. This area is fun to work on. I like the anatomy of the arms and the legs is really fun to draw. There's lots of like neat little interconnections and stuff happening. I like Clip Studio because it has these sort of line tools that kind of help me get really nice smooth lines. I'll probably end up screwing that up later, but for like big, long, curved, very like subtly curved lines like that, that stuff really helps. Uh-oh, my headset's gonna die. They have kind of weird hands, I realize. Their big claw, their like thumb, is kind of set back from their like this knuckle here is set back pretty far from this first knuckle here. It kind of gives them like this bird-like gesture to their hand, but it is kind of strange to see it in such an early. These guys are, I think they're like late Triassic. They're not very they're pretty old, you know, pretty early theropods. And then they have this little vestigial, because originally they would have had like earlier ancestors would have had 4 digits here, but they seem to be losing one. And I've seen different takes on it. Like some people actually restore it as a little nub. Some people don't restore it at all. Like they just keep it as part of like this sort of like the meat of the hand here, like as like a little bone embedded in there. So I don't know. I think for me, I might just keep it as like a embedded. I might hint at it, but not make a little projection, you know. And I don't like the original posture of this hand, so I'm gonna redo it while I refine the sketch. Hold us. Hello, how's it going? Welcome in. think that's a little bit better. I'm still not 100% happy with this. I'm probably gonna redo it again. but we'll see. Why do you do this? I don't like when Clip Studio does that stuff. Like snaps to like slightly off of horizontal. I kind of want to do just a quick study of here, let's see. I just want to isolate the head and do a study of like the head with the mouth further open, like bigger. Just really quick, just to see how. I should probably cut this and paste. And then this would be about where the jaw hinges from. Make a bigger gape. And then so this, like all this dewlap would kind of compress. Might not be able to get it to deform that way. I might have to draw it in. Hold us. This is looking amazing. Which dinosaur is this? It's a Dracovenator. That is what it is called. This area would be probably... You'd have a lot of bunching of this this dewlap. Not sure exactly what shape it might take. You would have more of a bunching there. Like lots of little wrinkles here. And then maybe, I don't know, I'm thinking about the female versus the male too. My initial idea is that the female doesn't have this dewlap structure like this. That whole area would be more, maybe a little bit, but like not as much. And then maybe not, maybe like the crest would be maybe smaller. Maybe not as, these ridges here would be not as prominent. Something like that for the female. Hold this. I'm an illustrator as well, and I used to work on educational illustration. Oh, cool. Biology was my favorite subject because sometimes I drew some dinosaurs. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, scientific illustration, illustration for education is something I've been interested in as well. I'm not really sure how you like actually get into that though. I know I think I remember somebody saying there was like in the States there's some sort of certification course that you can go to be a scientific like illustrator. But I have no idea how you would go about even getting into that. But that's always been interesting to me as well. That's like part of one of my favorite things is like even just skimming through biology books is looking at the illustrations, like all of the diagrams that they have. Some of them are really, really awesome. Myself, I got lucky because I got a job on a company that manages some educational websites here in Brazil. That's really cool. What mediums do you work in? Are you a digital artist, or do you do all your stuff traditionally, or maybe like a mix? I feel like I like my this eye better than this eye. I think I changed the eye too much. I'm going to go back. I'm going to revert. I'm going to erase that whole thing. Try again. 100% digital. But I'm about to buy some canvases and oil paint. Ooh, that's really fun. You know, I've been thinking about doing the same thing. So I went to art school, and all of that was traditional media. So I learned how to oil paint, and I really liked it, but I haven't actually done any oil painting since I graduated. Like, it's been like over a decade. So I'd probably be pretty rusty, but I feel like that's something I would really like to try again. Maybe because I've never done like a dinosaur illustration in oil paint. Like, that's something I've never done, and I feel like I think those skills are still like so important to keep like sharp. Because I mean, with digital media, like, you can do so much, you can do so many cool things, and you can like there's so many different workflows and stuff like that, but there is like, I don't know, I go back and forth because there is like a little bit of a safety net, because like, I mean, with this guy, I mean, you saw me just do it just now. Like, I didn't like the eye, and it's on, because it's on a totally new layer, I just like deleted the eye, and then I could restart. It's not very hard, you know. It's like there's a little bit of a safety net there. But with traditional media, everything's just a little bit, I mean, you could technically do the same thing. Like, if you're working on a painting and you don't like the eye, you could just paint over it and then redo it. Like, but there is a little bit more of that like permanence to it. Right? You kind of don't want to do that, because it's a lot more wasted time, and you want to you need a lot more foresight, a lot more planning. You know, you have to take care to plan it, your stages of your process out much more. I kind of miss that. I feel like there's a little bit more of a discipline that you can gain from that I maybe need to like refresh or like go back to. Plus, I just think it would be interesting and fun to do. It'd probably be a little bit frustrating too, because I have to relearn like everything about the medium. But hopefully it would come back to me, you know. Maybe it's like riding a bike a little bit. Jimbo. You're gonna get that song stuck in my head. Do I have any advice for people starting to do 3D modeling? Advice. I'm trying to think what it was like for me to learn 3D modeling. When I started learning 3D modeling, it was kind of like a really hard crash course, to be honest. So I hope I would say give yourself time. Give yourself plenty of time to just like sit and learn. Like, don't rush it, you know. That's one of the mistakes I made when I was learning. Like, I was like crammed for time, and I really had to like take in a lot of information all at once, and like it just like hit me like a big wall. So I would say don't do that to yourself. Take your time. But honestly, like just think about something fun that you're interested in sculpting. Something that's like, you know yourself better than I do, but like something that you feel that is pretty attainable. Like I would say, like, you know, don't set the bar like crazy high if you're just starting. Like, don't try to do like a full set of knight armor and like he's riding a horse, or like, you know, a crazy dragon or something. Like, that's probably going to be overwhelming. Like, pick something that's like cool, that you're interested in, but is fairly like grounded. It's kind of simple, and then just start practicing the techniques that you're like. Pick a cool tutorial that you like somebody that you would like to learn from. There's a ton of people online that have basic like depending on what you're using. Like, are you using ZBrush? Because I that's what I use. I sculpt in ZBrush, and I do a bit of Blender, but majority of my stuff has been ZBrush. So just find somebody that you like learning from, and then like just take. Usually you'll be able to find like, you know, a basics course that they'll offer, and just kind of run through it, you know, and like maybe you might have to run through it exactly as they do it. You know, maybe they're sculpting a model and they have like a sample model that you can sculpt alongside with, or maybe you might need to like copy and like follow along for the first couple of times, but then take what you learn and go into something, you know, what you're interested in. And just slowly kind of build your skill set up. Like think about it in terms of stages, you know, and kind of step up, you know, step by step, you know, try and climb that hill that you're trying to get up, instead of like, I feel like when I started, I tried to like leap to, you know, like when you see people like take huge steps upstairs and it looks ridiculous. That's what I felt like I was doing. And it was kind of frustrating, to be honest. So if I could go back and redo that little part of myself learning about 3D modeling, 3D sculpting, I would do things a little bit more gradual. Hold this. I completely agree. There's something unique and permanent about painting on physical canvas. Yeah, for sure. I just realized this is on the Echoes of Extinction channel. Is this Dinosaur's concept for the game? Yeah. This is the concept for a dinosaur that will be a playable dinosaur species in game. Yeah, it's the game is like, for the style of the game, I'm trying to go, you know, I discussed this with the team as well, is like we're trying to go fairly grounded. Like we want things to feel pretty naturalistic and like based in, you know, actual paleontology, but we're pushing things just a little, you know, we're pushing things over the edge. There's some things that are more like speculative than other things, like for, well, this guy, right? Like, if I were going to do this like strictly in terms of a paleo reconstruction, there's certain things I wouldn't be doing, right? Like these little embellishments here probably are a little too monster-y for a real, like a strict paleontological reconstruction. I would probably do something more conservative, like, you know, that sort of thing. These quills are probably, maybe they could have quills or like proto feathers, but these are definitely exaggerated for the sake of the video game. So there's stuff like that we're taking liberties on and like pushing the boundaries of. But overall, like I'm not making like if you stripped all that stuff away, this is still a fairly grounded, like the proportions are there, the anatomy's there. Like I'm trying to make sure all that stuff is there to make it feel believable in a way, but we're definitely giving that video game push. I hope that makes sense. It's kind of hard to describe. It's a little bit abstract in my head still too. It's like, cause I've done 3 models so far. This one will be my 5th. I'm currently doing another one, which is technically the 4th one. So it takes like a while to really get into a style and like solidify it. So I feel like there's still a little bit of discovery happening here. That's the goal, like that's the idea. Kelpie, thanks. Yeah, no problem. I mean, I hope that helps. It's kind of hard to give like a very direct guide. But yeah, I wish you luck on learning how to do 3D stuff. It's not it's very fun. I hope you have fun. I hope it's not frustrating. But yeah, just give yourself a lot of time and patience, and practice. Do concentrated practice. You don't have to do like a ton of practice. Just make sure that when you are practicing, you're very concentrated about it, and you're focused. And you're trying to absorb all that stuff, and you'll get where you want to go for sure. And like if you're ever interested, like if you continue watching the streams, if you see me sculpting or modeling or whatever, you can feel free to ask any questions and I'll do my best to answer. I mean, I'm drawing right now, of course, but I'll be back to the modeling and stuff soon, probably next stream. So if you had any questions about anything, just let me know. I'd be happy to help. I like the new eye. It's still kind of giving me trouble. I'm being very picky. The eyes are super important. So I'm being really I think when I'm drawing a character, the eyes are like probably the thing I redraw the most. Like, it's not very often that I'll like nail the attitude of the eye or like the feeling of that I want the first time. I'll usually have to kind of struggle to get it. It kind of sucks, but you keep on redoing stuff until you get what you want, basically. At least that's the way I have to do it. There are really super skilled people who it seems like they like just see it on the canvas and they just draw exactly what they need to draw. Like the first mark is the perfect mark, you know. But I think that takes a lot of foresight. Like if you guys have ever watched, like Kim Jong-gi is a good example. Kim Jong-gi drawing like anything really, like it just felt when I would see him draw, it would feel like he just knew what was on the canvas already, and he was just like, it was just super confident and very deliberate. Another guy that's like that, I think, is probably like Marko Djurjevic. It's probably another guy who's like that. I think those types of artists are probably pretty rare. I think it's probably a skill that you can hone, like just thinking about what you want to draw, kind of designing it in your head, and then executing on the page, without a lot of like back and forth. I tend to be, I'm pretty much the opposite. I'd say, like I'll sketch out a general idea, and then I have to kind of find it, you know, on the page. I've been thinking about getting into digital art. Would you suggest starting on an iPad or getting a Wacom tablet for my PC? Tablet would probably be the best, like the most affordable way. Like if you're just thinking about testing it out and like you're not sure if you're gonna like it or not, I wouldn't spend a ton of money on like, because iPads are pretty expensive. Like I have mine, like this thing. It was pretty expensive. I don't really use it all that much, if I'm being honest with you. I just don't like the way that it feels too much. Like I'll draw on it when I'm traveling, or like I'll go to the coffee shop or something on occasion, but for the most part, it's just like hanging out, which is kind of sucks because it was a lot of money. Cintiqs are really, really expensive. So unless you are like really committed to like, unless you're like a pro, I would say don't worry about Cintiqs. Like I have a Cintiq too, and I barely use it because it screws with my neck and my shoulders. But this guy gets like all of the use. Like this guy, it's a tablet. It's just a Wacom tablet. And I use it literally all day, almost every day. And it's pretty affordable. They're not too expensive. I mean, depending on the size you get, like this one was maybe, I can't remember. They range, like depending on how big you get it, they can be like, I don't know, $400. The smaller ones are cheaper. So yeah, if you're interested in that, and that's Wacom. Like Wacom is like a brand name, right? Like there are other brands that you can get tablets for even cheaper if you wanted to, like Huion. Like look into Wacom, look into Huion. I think those would be the two best like artist tablets that you can get. And yeah, I would try one of those first. Try one of those. Use like a program that's pretty widely available, like Clip Studio. It's like maybe $50. You can get Clip Studio. It's a perpetual license. You don't have to buy a subscription. What else? Krita is free. I think Krita is free at least. So you can try Krita. Krita is really nice too. Like, I like it a lot. There's other ones like Rebel's cool. I think you have to pay for that one though. I would try Clip Studio or Krita. There's another one. It's called Leonardo, I think. They're called Leonardo. That's kind of just like a cool like sketching program. It doesn't have like very many bells and whistles to it. It's like very bare bones. But if you just want to like just sketch and like, I think it has like an infinite canvas, which is cool. Because you can just sketch on the same document. You don't really have to open up any new ones or anything. You can try that as well. That's what I would recommend if you're interested in getting into digital arts for the first time. And like the cool thing about like the Wacom tablets, like I've had I bought a Wacom tablet before this one. I had a different one. It was an Intuos 4. But I've had that Wacom tablet for like 10 years, like over 10 years. And it worked. Like they're built very well. Like you buy one of these things, it'll last you years. I have my Cintiq that I upgraded to this one, but like my wife has my older Cintiq. It still works perfectly well. And that Cintiq I bought that Cintiq in 2013. So they're very good. Like they can be a little expensive up front, but they will last you a long time. Especially if you use it a lot, it will last you a long time. What drawing software do I use now? This is Clip Studio. I like Clip Studio a lot. I feel like the brushes in here are really nice. Like they feel good. The painting, like the paint brushes, like these guys, they feel really nice, and they like let me give you, like, you see how they're mixing in there, like it's like smudging together. It feels a lot like oil paint, which I really love oil paint. Like I like how oil paint like smears together and like blends and stuff, and this really does a lot of that. It's got some very nice blending. Like the watercolor brushes and the ink brushes and stuff feel very nice as well. They have this nice like you can do, you have like nice bleeding effects and stuff as well. I just think the brushes in here are really good. You don't really have to go outside of this if you don't want to. Like I think with Photoshop, you kind of have to invest a lot of time into making your own brushes or downloading other brush packs that other people have made to like get the sort of brush that you want. With this, they're kind of all here. Like I haven't really had to make anything. And the added benefit of this is like you buy it once, you don't have to keep buying a subscription. You just buy it one time and you have it, you know. Whereas like Photoshop, it's like $60 a month or something, which I'm not happy about at all. I have to use it because I use it for work. My main art job. But if I didn't have to, like if we weren't using like big Photoshop files and stuff, and like there's certain things that we use that at work that it requires Photoshop basically, or else I can't open the files, you know. So that's really the only thing that's keeping Photoshop alive for me at this point. Because if I didn't have to use it for those purposes, I probably would not use it. Which is kind of sad because I used to really love Photoshop. I mean, it's where I started. Like, it's what I started this whole thing with. Like, learning how to do digital art was all Photoshop in the beginning. But Photoshop, I feel, used to be a much more artist friendly program earlier on than I think it is now. What dinosaur do you plan to work on after this one? There's a lot of dinosaurs that I'm working on currently for Echoes. I have the Tropio still going. This guy is going. I have Pachycephalosaurus that I am concepting as well, that I need to get ready for another artist to get going. But after that, I don't really know. Like, we'll see how it all goes. And there's like some other stuff that we got coming up that I'm helping out with. So there's lots of dinos. So I like that. I think I'm still not happy about that eye. Frosted dinosaurs. Hey Raul, got a question. How do I naturalize the arms and a dinosaur drawing? Naturalize, like, in what way? Like what? I guess I don't know what you mean by naturalize. Like the pose of them, or just like the anatomy. So with the dinosaur arm, I think one of the most important things to try to like not do to them, this is what I see. I'm not saying this is what you're doing to your dinosaurs, but I'm just thinking like generally what I see when people draw dinosaurs who may not be used to drawing them, or like common mistakes that I see with dinosaur arms, is the pose and the anatomy. So a lot of times people draw dinosaur arms and they kind of make them into people arms, but just like scaly, like our arms, but just they put our anatomy onto the dinosaur arm, and they're pretty distinct from us. Like of course they have the same bone names, they have the same muscle groups and stuff, but they're not arranged quite the same. So what I would do, so make sure you have a lot of good reference. If you're looking for really good anatomy reference, you need to probably take a look at Matt Dempsey's dinosaur diagrams, because he shows all of the muscles and he shows them at multiple angles. And what I would do is I would actually just study those a few times, like just to try to internalize the anatomy and how that actually works. Because the dinosaur arm has, they have, I'm using sticks here, but they have the humerus, the radius and ulna here, and then you have all the bones that make up the hand. But you also have a big shaped like this. This is the scapula and the coracoid. This is scapula, this is coracoid. And that's like one of the major reasons why they're not like humans, because from the front view, like this is the rib cage. Humans have their scapulas on the back, right? Like this. And then the arms are on the side. Dinosaurs don't do that. Dinosaurs have their scapulas here on the side. And then the coracoids are kind of slightly more in front, and then their arms are down here like this. So this gesture, like depending on what angle you're doing stuff at, this gesture is really important. Like getting this sort of, see how that feel like they're kind of hanging down like low. That's really important. And then just knowing where the muscles go. So like you have your deltoid here, you have the biceps here, the tricep. There's one head of the tricep that's right here, and then the other one is coming behind it, but right here there's inserting a latissimus dorsi, your lat muscle, and then you have the lat muscle will overlap two other muscles, which are the teres major and minor. Sorry if I'm throwing a lot of stuff at you right now, but that's why I would say take a look at those diagrams and kind of like go through them like bit by bit, and just kind of memorize them basically. Like draw them from different angles, draw them multiple times, just until you like get the feeling for like how the shapes work and like how the gestures work, how they connect to each other, like where they are on the bones, because once you learn this formula, you can apply it to a lot of other dinosaur species. Like say you're just working on like a T-Rex or something. Well, if you can draw a T-Rex arm, you probably can draw an Allosaurus arm. You probably can draw a Dilophosaurus arm. The anatomy is fairly similar. They change the number of like fingers and stuff like that, but even if you took this and then you looked at like a sauropod arm, like a Brachiosaurus or something, you'd still be able to see like the different bits, you know, like you'd still be able to piece it together. So it's a lot of this sort of stuff. Like you see, like this study that I'm doing here, this is a lot of what I did when I was learning dinosaur anatomy, just over and over again, basically. So if you're trying to like improve your dinosaur anatomy, like your dinosaur arms, you know, maybe just take an afternoon, right, and like pull up a few good dinosaur anatomy diagrams and just take few hours to study them, and then try to do it from memory, and then see how you do, and then think about like, okay, where did I forget stuff? Where did I mess up? Or where could I work better? And then go study that part, and then like kind of dissect it that way, you know. But it's a lot of just the anatomy and the posture. When you're posing your arms, that can be a little bit difficult. It's just about learning the range of motion. Like if you're trying to do realistic dinosaur arms and hands, you want to make sure that you're not twisting the wrist. Dinosaurs can't do this. They can't rotate their wrist. Their wrist stays locked in one position, so the top of their wrist lines up with the top of their arm. They can't go like that and flip their palm forward like we can. The radius and ulna don't rotate over each other like ours do. It's called pronation. They stay in one direction. So that's one way to try not to mess up your dinosaur arms, is don't twist the arms. So like don't make them do like the Jurassic Park pose where like they're like mantis hands, you know, because that's physically not possible for them to do. And then the other thing is like they can go back, like their arms can go back pretty far. Like if you're thinking about the arc of a swing, like these can go back pretty far and scrunch up very tight like this, you know. Some dinosaurs can even swing their like raptors can swing their hands backward like a bird and like fold them in, but these can go up pretty high. The limitation you have is when you're going forward. Like I wouldn't bring, like you can't reach out super far with these arms. It would be really hard on the dinosaur to do that. Like you probably shouldn't go much further than, I would say maybe vertical, like this far forward, because they're not meant to like stretch out and grab stuff. They're meant to hold on to things that are already like held by the mouth. Like the mouth is what's doing the grabbing. Like if they were chasing down prey or anything like that, the mouth is what's grabbing the prey and catching it. It's not their arms. The arms are just meant to hold on to the prey once they have it. So they don't actually need to reach out and grab stuff, right? So they're not going to pull their arms super forward. Like if I took the upper arm and pulled it out this far, I would probably be straining or breaking the arm. It would probably pop out of its socket at that point. So I would say as long as you're not pulling it forward too far, you're probably fine. And as far as like front view goes, like you can probably make them clap. Like they could probably clap their hands, you know. If we're thinking about range of motion, they could probably come in pretty far and they probably swing out fairly far. It's really the forward movement that you're worried about. Do you think that T-Rex would be a hard model? You know, like if you're already familiar with dinosaurs, T-Rex is probably one of the easier dinosaurs to do in some respect, because we know a lot about T-Rex. T-Rex is probably one of the most is the most studied dinosaur probably ever. So we have a lot of skeletons. We study T-Rex a lot. There's a lot of information about T-Rex out there. So if you were to pick a good starting dinosaur, T-Rex is probably a good one to start with, because you're going to have an easier time finding data. Like if you tried to start with like Dracovenator, like you're going to type Dracovenator into Google, and what you're going to get is like little bits of skull, and that's it. So you're not going to have much to go off of. So if you were trying to do a reconstruction and starting with trying to pick a species, T-Rex would be a good one. You know, anything that is well researched, has a good chunk of the bones represented, is going to be a good candidate. So yeah, if you wanted to try that, I would say that's probably good. If you've never sculpted before though, I would hesitate to say that's a good idea. I would honestly say like maybe try just like the head first, like maybe, or something like that. Maybe not the whole body, maybe just like the skull, or like, you know, something like that. Like try to break it down into bits. But it's up to you, you know. Like if you feel like it's a good spot for you to start, if you feel like that's what you want to do, then I'd say go for it. But yeah, just give yourself time to study and take it bit by bit. No problem. Frosted dinosaurs. Yeah, sorry. It's kind of like a crash course in dinosaur arm anatomy. It's really something that should be talked about, you know, in more subtlety at more length. But that I feel like is the gist of it. I'm drawing Giganotosaurus right now, and I drew the arms like the posture you did a few seconds ago. Yeah, the like mantis, sort of palm down posture. I would say if you can, if there's a way that you can find it, there is I don't know if you know David Krentz. David Krentz had a DVD at Nomen that was just about drawing dinosaurs. So if you can maybe track that down, let me see if I can. I don't think Nomen does lectures like that anymore. Maybe they do. Maybe they have some sort of archive. Or this is on Amazon? Is it not on Amazon? Or maybe it's on YouTube. But this... I don't know. I looked at it. I looked it up, and this is kind of what popped up. I don't know if this is actually going to give you. I would try to find it though, because it's a very good resource. If you can find this, like as a, maybe somebody has it up online, or maybe you can get it from like Nomen or something. I don't know. I would try to find it because it's a very good resource as far as like how to draw dinosaurs, how to think about their anatomy, how to like break it down. It's very good. That's how I started learning my stuff. So yeah, guys, I think I'm going to have to head out. It's a little bit over time for stream now, and I gotta get on with my evening. But if you have any other questions like that, maybe drop by another stream, or maybe ping me in the Echoes of Extinction Discord, and I can try to answer some questions there as well. But yeah, thanks everyone for being here with me tonight. Thanks for all the questions. Thanks for all the support. I'll be streaming. I think I'll be streaming Saturday. My stream on Saturday might be later than usual because I have a prior sort of appointment in the morning, but I'll figure that out, and I'll just make an announcement on Discord when the stream's ready. But yeah, thanks everyone. Have a good night, and I'll see you next time. Okay. Bye bye.